My name is Sarah Rogers. I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I came to University of South Carolina in Columbia for college, where I met my now husband, Tyler Rogers. My husband and I were so excited to start a family, and last year we actually were on a trip back to where we had gone on our honeymoon a few years earlier, and that's where I found out I was pregnant.
That was probably one of the happiest moments of our lives. And while Sarah was pregnant, up until 20 weeks, everything was great.
For me, pregnancy was very easy, and everything, I was told looked good.
And then at the 20-week anatomy scan, we realized we were not going to have a normal pregnancy. There were some issues with Hampton's heart.
It took weeks after that initial appointment for us to really have a diagnosis, and even then, we didn't truly understand, and we weren't going to understand what Hampton, our son's condition, was until after his birth. Hampton was born on September 23rd, 2025 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we went to Atrium. We knew that he was going to need to be, immediately transferred after birth to the NICU, and then he would go to the Cardiovascular ICU because of the heart defects that he was born with.
Seeing him for the first time was probably one of the most amazing moments of my life. Becoming a father, it was a surreal moment.
Hampton was born with a number of heart defects, but those were caused by a rare disease called heterotaxy. And heterotaxy means that organs in Hampton's abdomen weren't arranged properly. So that meant his stomach was on the wrong side of the body, and his liver, they were flipped. They were mirror images. And when the heart forms in utero, heterotaxy causes it to be formed very incorrectly.
He was immediately taken to the NICU and spent the next 7 days in the NICU in the CVICU.
He had open heart surgery at 7 days old, but no one prepares you for sending your 7-day-old infant into open heart surgery.
So after Hampton's open heart surgery, every day was a little bit different. We had good days, we had bad days.
We were very fortunate that Madelyns Fund helped support our stay in Charlotte at the hospitality house. And so that was a big part of us being able to be close to the hospital, walking across the street to be able to be with our son and spend all of the time that we had before the surgery with our son, because we knew after the surgery things would be different.
They basically gave us the news that his condition was universally fatal. And that was a very difficult conversation to have with the doctors. Hearing those two words was a very tough time for Sarah and I.
Being in the NICU or the cardiac ICU is unlike any other place I have been. The challenges that we experienced, no one should have to go through, and yet, even right now, the NICU is still taking in babies. The cardiac ICU is taking in babies, performing open heart surgeries on babies, and it's hard to describe the fear that you feel when your child is in a place like that, and there are no guarantees. It's not like a 48-hour, this is done, let's go home. I mean, we were there for almost 2.5 months, and there were families that were there longer than us. So Hampton was in the NICU and then the cardiac ICU for 67 days during his life. And the support we received from Madelyns Fund, from our friends and family, is really what kept us going during that time.
On Hampton's last day after his baptism, we said our final goodbyes. As we were leaving the hospital, I looked up at his room across the street from the parking deck where we would park every day, and just looked at his window. We had a little H on the window where we could see him, and when people would come to visit, they knew that was his room. So waved goodbye to him, and We looked up in the sky and just thanked God. Hampton was going to have eternal healing, and he was not going to be in pain anymore.
While we are so grateful for the 67 days that we had, it will never be enough. It has truly made our lives so much richer.
After reflecting on things, I kind of pictured Madelyns Fund as kind of our fairy godmother. Madelyns Fund was always in the background. Their coordination with the hospitals and the social workers is truly seamless.
Another incredible way that Madelyns Fund supported us is helping us with funeral expenses after our son Hampton passed away. And that's really not something anyone should have to do. When we were working through his funeral arrangements, and the social worker, told us, we've got this. We've already talked to Madelyns Fund. Everything is taken care of. That was an incredible relief in a situation that no parent should have to go through.
Madelyns Fund really enabled us to not think and worry about certain things. They really helped us just focus on our time with Hampton.
The support that we received from Madelyns Fund to do just that is a gift that we will treasure forever, because it enabled my husband and I just to focus on being together and honoring our son and remembering his very short but courageous life that he lived.